Alright, Merts, welcome to the CineMerts Podcast. We're Max Coulson and Levi Johnson. We're a couple of guys. We like films, we like good films, we like bad films. Which one was this? It was a bad film. It was a bad film.
Wow, okay. Damn, I thought we were going to go diplomatic on this one, but just...
No, this movie sucks. So...
So, okay, I was in the cinema and I was like, oh my god, I tell you what this movie is. It's Shenmue the Movie. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I love Shenmue, man. Shenmue is a great game. It's all about you being Ryo Hazuki and you're a regular person who's trying to also find out who killed your dad. What you do as a regular person? Fucking walk around and, like, go to work and shit. Yeah. So it's like this great life simulator. Does that make it a good game? Probably not, because games are all about being action dudes and doing stuff. But at the same time, it does everything that it wants to do really well, which is not be a video game, right? And this is when watching Dune, the 2021 edition. Yeah, I was kind of like, so do you want to be a movie or do you just want to be like a walking Wikipedia article, like a visual Wikipedia article? Like, there's a lot of exposition, setup, nothing actively happening.
The thing is, you can actually kind of say that about the book as well, right? So the book is kind of Shenmue, but a book. But in a different way as well. Not in necessarily just the way you were saying, but in the way that, you know how like Shenmue sort of really kind of influenced a ton of other games? And had like all these game mechanics that it kind of brought into the world of gaming, or certainly popularized. And then, you know how like companies like Rockstar went, hey, let's do this, except make it not boring as fuck? That's what Star Wars did to Dune.
Yeah, basically, right.
This fucking movie. Here's the thing, you could make this more concise without a shadow of a fucking doubt. There is a lot of fat that could be trimmed off of this fucking movie.
And a lot of it's exposition. Like, I turned to you at one point and was like, so is it clunky exposition if within the actual movie itself it is literal exposition? Like, you know, someone pulls up a video Wikipedia article and like they're like, in Dune there are sandworms. Sandworms are attracted to rhythmic like thumping. You're like, okay, the sand people need to do a special walk to like walk across. Like, cheers for letting me know this. But then like later on in the movie, she's like, watch out, rhythmic thumping makes the sandworms come. And like, wait, you can't just do the exposition twice. Like, I'm literally watching the movie. It's not a different one.
Didn't even really need to exposit that either, because it's shown within the film.
Yeah.
Like, several times it's shown that rhythm attracts it.
Yeah, there's certain moments in the movie that, like, they explain how the suit works to, like, collect your moisture. Then they're in a tent, and then just to make it clear, they show shots of, like, moisture being collected in the tent. And then what happens? They're like, have some water. It's recycled water from the moisture in the tent. I know! I've been watching the movie.
Yeah, this film sort of assumes that you have a memory span of about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's unreal. And we're not even doing... Okay, fuck plot
rundown.
rundown.
No, I would say probably not do plot rundowns, because it's a brand new movie. This is the first time we've done a video on a brand new movie.
It is the first time. And obviously there will be some spoilers that we'll get into, although not many, because nothing happens in this movie. So it's difficult to spoil anything. That some people die who, if you've ever seen a movie before, you will know are going to die within the first couple of minutes, even if you haven't seen the David Lynch movie, which I have, or if you read the book, obviously, which I have not, or if you played the porn game. The exposition dumps. There's the thing about the worms, there's the recycled water, and the most annoying one, the most egregious one for me, and even though it's only done once, it's not one that gets repeated a lot, is the one that says, it's one of the audio recording, exposition recordings that he's listening to, explains that spice is the most valuable thing in the universe. But surely in universe, everyone would know that already.
Yeah.
Why would that be in any kind of a training video thing? That would be like one of the first things you learn. It'd be like a video on Earth, right? A training video going, oil is really valuable. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
I live in the world.
See,
I know what our main fuel is.
like the bit that got me, where I was like, hey, that was Maiden Butler dialogue, where he just goes, hey, what's that saying they have on Arrakis? You know you're on Arrakis when you wash your ass with sand? Yeah, that's the saying. What? You just forced him to say like a line that you already knew? Like, oh my god, this is...
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that. That was like a really bad way of like exposing that dialogue. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Just have him say it. Like, you could have just said, like, you know you're on Arrakis when you shower with sand.
This already seems like a really weird thing, but in a way, we're doing this in order. Because what's the first thing you get in this movie? Exposition. What's the second thing? Exposition. Oh, basically the whole first act is just exposition.
Yeah. It's weird because obviously, like, the world of Dune has a lot of stuff, and I remember looking at you and going, "This is like I can tell this is old sci-fi," because everyone has like some kind of name. Like, what was it? Is it like the Harkons? Like
Harkonnens.
the Harkonnens. Oh.
But they say Harkonnens in this.
Yeah.
It's in the Lynch version. They pronounce it Harkonnen. I don't know which one's right.
Right. So basically, they're like, these guys are super dangerous. But it's like, man, this is weird. Like, obviously, stuff's moved forward a little. A lot of names aren't this just obtuse. And then you're like, somebody has to deliver this with like a serious face. Like, and it's like, yeah, like, like if some guy is what people do now, like obviously this is why, because Dune is older, and is why you could tell, because obviously people ape it in the modern day, and then they're like, yeah, I need to give my character a really obtuse name with like loads of syllables. So you're like, yeah, these race of people are the Bij Tek Bikanja. And then they're like, yeah, the Bij Tek Bingjangba are really dangerous. We have to be careful. And then they just have to keep saying it all the time with a straight face. And it's like...
Doesn't it make you think of just like shit like Rick and Morty though? Where they just do that, but except they use intentionally dumb names like Flip Flop and...
Yeah. Oh, watch out for the doodle floops.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
That's not... Yeah, and I'm like, that's not really Dune's fault.
It's not the book's fault.
Yeah.
But
when
this
you're doing
is a
an
movie
adaptation.
in 2021.
Yeah.
After that's become trite and cliche, you can fix that. But obviously they want it to be like a really, a really faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But also, that's not an excuse, because faithful adaptations don't necessarily make for better movies.
Like,
so I'm going to skip way ahead, because there's actually a really good example of this.
Okay.
Right. So there are two separate moments in what I assume is supposed to be the third act, where Paul and his mum crash in the desert following an attack in which some characters die. Why are those two separate events? Those could have been one event. The extra two characters that die at the second time they get attacked could have just been killed in the first thing.
Yeah.
And then they crash and then find the Fremen.
Yeah,
But instead, they just do it twice.
Yeah, that was really weird as well, because...
It just killed the pacing. Like,
the weird thing was as well, that scene seemed to almost set something up. Now, maybe, like, being a Fremen makes you, like, super next level Jango Fett, right? Like, maybe it makes you... No, Boba Fett. It makes you Boba Fett, right? So... This is a minor spoiler, so if you get scared, like, why are you listening to it? We already said we're going to spoil it. Anyway, obviously they crash, and then they have to do the scene that was, like, his vision at the start of the movie. And he fights off those guys and dies, or Duncan does. But like, to set that scene up, he says to her, by the way, I'm like Space Jesus. And she's like, I don't know about that. And he's like, yeah? Well, I know your history. I know you had a lover who died in battle, and this is how you know that I am Space Jesus. And he's like, oh shit, like, okay. He just proved it to her. So he's like, okay, we got to get out of here because bad stuff's happening. She's like, right, well, I'm going to go out because I can make my way across the desert because I'm a Fremen. Like, okay, cool. And then what happens? She stands out in the open to like do something where she's going to ride the worm. But then she just gets stealth attacked in the middle of the open. Like, and you're like, oh, okay. So we just had this whole scene where Paul is like, I'm Space Jesus, so you can vouch for me when you talk to like all the rest of your people. Nope. Cancelled. Done. That's it.
It didn't need to be in the movie.
So, yeah, like, unless she's going to be like, surprise, I'm Boba Fett, and she gets out of the sandworm in like the next movie and is like, don't worry guys, you gotta believe him, and I'm like a sandworm survivor, so that makes me even more credible based off of our culture. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a completely pointless scene here.
Yeah, that's how a lot of this film feels. And like I say, there's a decent number of scenes that feel like they could have been kind of pushed together into one moment. And it means that the film like ebbs and flows. Like the film, like the moment that feels like the logical climax to the film happens somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, the big action explosive scene happens, and then the film just kind of carries on.
Yeah, I was like, I turned to her like, so, like, based on this, like, the first act was like an hour, and I was like, that, because there's like this stupid spice raker that gets eaten, and I was like, that seems like the end of the first act, because it was like something that the characters needed to do, and the story seems to have shifted here, but there was nothing that was actually forced upon the character, like, to make Paul do something, or like he has no agency. He's just he's just static, waiting for things to happen around him, like he's in a Harry Potter like novel or something. And so that's kind of lame. And I was like, okay, so this must be Act 2. Then you have like a big crazy battle thing that happens, and you're like, at the end of that stuff, you're like, this probably should be where the movie ends based off runtime and the fact that it ain't gonna get bigger than this. Yeah. But that's obviously Act 2, right? So, like, what the hell? And that's where I was thinking to myself, this would probably be a better TV series. You would need to obviously flesh out some stuff, like, and give Paul some actual character beats where he pushes the story forward. Right. But yeah, like, a TV series, I think, would have worked a lot better. That, like, the end of that battle, I was like, yeah, that's like the season finale. Like, that was the season finale, and then you go into the next one, because where the film ends, like, the next major action beat, like, or the final climax of the movie is Paul having, like, a bit of a knife fight with a guy.
Yeah, like, and that did
for kind of no reason, really, other than, no. Like, the writer's clearly there going, but he has to be proven somehow. Like, he has to prove himself to be like an ultimate badass. So one guy, he says, I'm going to fight you, and then goes, no, everyone's like, but what's the point? He's already pretty good. Nah, I just am not going to accept it, like, so that I can die, and then we can say he's in. All right.
You know, if this was my movie, if I was put in charge of making this fucking movie and I was given the script, the way I would do it is that the big attack on the House Atreides base thing, you know, the big attack would basically be the end of the movie, right? They get in the ships, they fly off into the desert, they crash. Now, fucking Aquaman dies in that whole incident. So you combine those. So Aquaman dies, fucking fine, right? They go off while all this is happening. Paul's dad is like, you know, he does all the cyanide tooth thing and all that still.
Oh yeah,
keep that the same. The ship goes down. They have to cross the desert. They reach the Fremen. End of that movie. The knife fight to prove himself. First act of the next movie.
Yeah.
That does not feel like an end of third act moment.
Yeah.
It feels underwhelming.
Yeah.
And it just like, oh, okay. He fought a guy who we've got no reason to think that like, oh, this guy is serious.
Yeah.
I mean, the film kind of tells us he is, but we're not given any evidence that he is. So it doesn't feel like a big deal that he beat him in combat.
Yeah, because he just goes, watch out, this guy's like a super badass.
No, again,
like,
if
what?
this were me, right? Okay, you can change that around, right? If you're gonna do it that way, if you're gonna have that fight be an end of third act, right? The way you do it is you change it so it's not that random dude. It's the guy that approaches them in the first place. The guy who's their kind of leader.
Okay.
Right, the Fremen leader guy. He challenges him, but you insert a scene earlier on that shows him to be this super formidable fighter.
Yeah. Like
in which case, like, and maybe maybe have him save Paul early on as well.
This is what I was thinking. If I was going to do it as a TV series, I was like, well, in that whole first act, while he's wandering around, maybe at some point he goes out into like the wilderness to do a another general mission. And while he's out there, he gets saved by that guy, Jamiz. I'm like, that then at least lets us know, one, there's like an action beat here where Paul is doing something, and two, oh wow, this guy is pretty strong, and it even puts like an emotional connection between the characters because he's been saved by him once. But you know, now I'm adding stuff that's not in the source material.
But, but that would add to it, right? Because that turns it into more of a character moment. For like his victory means something then.
Yeah.
It shows actual growth for his character. He goes from being passive and reliant on this guy to actually besting him in combat.
Yeah.
Right? That's actual character growth. But you know, you can't be doing that when you've got to fit in room for all this exposition.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to like spend loads of time really insisting that the Harkonnens are super, super bad. Can't just show them being bad guys.
Yeah, like
You just got to like really insist on it. Like they do like a couple of things, I guess. Like there's the whole like, you know, that they captured torturing his wife, the one dude's wife, and then.
Yeah, you don't even see.
You don't even see it. You just hear about it. So again, there's no impact. You have to see this shit.
Like, it would have been cool if I don't know, because they're clearly like space orc men, right? They're like, we love war and killing people and being just monstrous. So it would have been cool if maybe there was a scene like at the start where instead of where they're like, oh, the Harkonnens are on our Dune world, like you find like the Harkonnens invade like some of the I don't know what they're called anymore, so I'm just gonna call them sand people from Star Wars. The Fremen. Yeah, there you go. They find the Fremen and then just full on brutally murder them all. Like they're just horrifying monsters. Like they're super powerful.
You need the burning down the village thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like how, you know how all fantasy movies start with the villains burning down the village, right? Or to compare it to something it directly influenced, the Death Star moment.
Yeah.
Right? Look at the original Death Star. Well, what do they do to establish that the Empire are real bad guys? They blow up a planet. It's like, okay, bad guys.
Yeah.
I understand now that these people are incredibly bad. Don't tell me, show me. Visual medium.
Yeah.
Right? In a book, you can get away with that a little bit more. This isn't a book. Show, don't tell. This movie sucks. like, The spectacle of this movie is very good.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot to like about it. Like, you know what I mean? As a spectacle, it's great. That big action sequence that happens in the middle looks fucking great.
Yeah,
the way this
all
film
the effects look great.
The way the film sells scale is unreal. Like, the sandworms feel huge.
Yeah, and I love the fact that the sandworms are almost fucking thought out. Like, they use fucking tremors to, like, to aerate the sand to make it basically liquefy, so that when you're too close you just get fucked anyway. That's really good, and it makes sense because that's how they would move, right?
Yeah. And
Wicked.
also you're seeing everything shift and just warp. It's like they're just warping the entire landscape around them. It looks amazing.
Like,
and like I say, that attack on the base when they're like destroying those ships, and you see the scale of the ships next to the tiny people next to it as it blows up. And it's like, again, it really sells scale. This movie looks fantastic, and it sounds fantastic. I through and through, this film needs to get an Oscar nomination for sound, because the sound design in that fucking movie is great. Like, when they used the voice.
Oh yeah.
It's especially when the first time the nun lady, when she first uses it, when he steps in the chamber, and like you feel that, like, I'm so glad we saw this in the cinema with the surround sound, because you feel that in your gut. It's like, it's so good. The sound design is phenomenal in this movie. I know there isn't an Oscar for sound design, but it should get the sound Oscar. It's pretty much used interchangeably. So like, I mean, it probably won't. It'll probably go to a Pixar movie, because it always does, but there's not a Star Wars movie out this year, so it will be a Pixar movie.
Right.
It's always Star Wars or Pixar. There's the technical awards on the Oscars are trash. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get something that's justified, like Mad Max Fury Road won a bunch of technical awards, which was well deserved, but a lot of the time it goes to the most undeserving fucking bullshit ever. Like, best costume design always goes to some shitty period piece movie, and it's like, come on, this shit's already laying around in fucking cupboards. Like,
it's like costume design, like stuff from the past isn't really costume design. Like, it's you're just replicating shit that already happened. Like, if you got to design like a costume, like what would these people wear like on a desert world? Like, all right, like fucking hydration suit, like. Wear like desert clothes from Earth as well. Like, okay, this is interesting, smart.
I mean, mind you, these are all based on like mostly concept art from the Jodorowsky unfinished Dune movie that would have been very weird. I know a lot of people are always like, oh, it would have been the best movie ever. It's like, would it though? Because there were some weird ideas in there. Casting Mick Jagger as Paul, that's weird. Casting Salvador Dali to play the Baron was fucking bizarre. And then he said that he'd do it, but only for $100,000 a day. $100,000 an hour. Sorry.
Oh, because I was going to say
$100,000
a day is actually a pretty cheap deal.
Bear in mind, this is 1960s money. Right. Okay. So like, Jodorowsky figured he still was going to do it, but he tried to figure out a way to shoot all his scenes in like 4 minutes.
Like, man don't even have green screen back then. He's like, yo, there's bare locations, bro. Like,
Also, he was going to have an animatronic dummy made of Dali to do the rest of his scenes. Jodorowsky was an absolute fucking madman, I swear down, bruv.
But anyway, this movie sucks. No, what was I talking about? Like the sound design, the way it's out of scale, like I say, is fantastic.
The problems really come in the writing aspect, where the writing feels like it's more of an amateurish writer. Not to slate whoever was the writer, but there's just stuff there that is like, this just doesn't translate well. You should have put something in there. Like, hell, what's that? Like, Lord of the Rings added, because talking about faithful adaptations, Lord of the Rings added a load of fucking bullshit that was not in there. Like, who was it? It wasn't the Nazgul scene with the stabbing. The horse riding scene where like Arwen rides in. That's not in the books. Like, that's just totally added, and they're like, it's just more interesting. It's more fun to watch. like the random water horses. That's some made up bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it just makes the stuff more fun. Like I really wish I'd watched Fellowship of the Ring first, because that's like a real masterclass on how to adapt something and keep it interesting, keep it good.
There is a slight difference though, right? Because like, as far as I know, I could be wrong on this, to be fair, but I'm pretty sure that what we watched is like the first act of the first book. It's not a whole book.
Yeah, okay. I
I
can see that.
but like that's a big difference, because Fellowship, that's a book. They condensed a book still.
Well,
granted, I think the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy is like probably got a smaller word count than the first Dune book, so you know. I tried to read that shit when I was 13. I gave up. I managed to read Marx at 13, but I gave up on Dune. Fuck that book. But
yeah, I was like, maybe I'll do some audiobooks, and then I saw there was like 28 option listings on like Audible. And I was like, fuck that. Like, because Audible doesn't even give you like book 1, book 2, book 3. It's literally just like, here's all the books. I'm like, are some of these the same book? So yeah, I was like, fuck this. Yeah, like it feels like, well, the movie is just set up the movie. Like, there's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I even
come.
said that, didn't I? It's like, it feels like a trailer.
Yeah.
It does. The film feels like a trailer. Fucking MJ from what's her name?
Zendaya.
She is, you know, if you've seen any of the trailers and shit,
You've seen all of her scenes.
you've seen all of her in that movie. She is barely fucking in it.
Yeah, she's only there to just do.
She shows up in a
scenes.
bunch of flash forwards doing nothing, and then she shows up at the end and hands him a knife.
Yeah, she's like, my great grand aunt gave me this knife.
It's
When
made
you
from
die-
a sandworm tooth.
Yeah, it's like, when you die, at least you got to hold a cool weapon.
Yeah,
Alright.
and then apparently she just had way too much confidence in that guy, because
Like, he beat him, like, super easily, like,
Yeah.
instantly, and then was like, do you yield? He's like, there is no yielding in our combat. And then he, like, beats him, like, 4 other times, and he's like, but seriously, you should yield, though. And then his mum's like, he's never killed anyone, his little bitch baby.
you know, that's another annoying thing, right? Because the whole thing is like, you know, a big character moment for him is clearly getting over not wanting to kill, and he needs to learn that killing is good or whatever, right? But the problem is, again,
Man's never had to kill no one.
they don't show that situation before. Again, they could have done that earlier. They could have had him like in a combat situation, and he's gonna kill someone, and he holds back, and then someone else steps in and does it for him.
Yep.
Like maybe Jason Momoa comes in and like kills the guy for him, and it's like, you've got to learn to get over this. Like, if you're in a life or death situation, you've got to pick life.
Here's literally the fucking scene where they could have done that. Instead of have a fucking tiny robot drone come out to try and kill, like, Paul, just have it be a guy, and then Paul fights him, and then kind of beats him, but then can't kill him. So then, like, Duncan comes in to kill him. That's all they would have had to do to change it, to add that setup.
Yeah. It's really frustrating, because...
there's so many non-character beats. It's interesting as well, because I don't want to be that guy, but like, you know, I like to try my hand at writing, and like I have a pretty interesting idea that I've been like, oh yeah, how would I write this? But then when you realise that you've got your characters just standing around doing nothing, waiting for things to happen all the time, you're like, yeah, this is gonna suck balls. I need to find a way to give the characters agency and make them actually do something. Like, give them some character moments. Why don't they want to do this? So it was really screaming in my head, like, why has Paul got like no options whatsoever? Like,
you know, it does. I mean, maybe this is part of the influence, but so this kind of does remind me a little bit of Luke Skywalker in the first Star Wars, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know how like Luke is fucking useless in the first Star Wars movie, and he doesn't really do anything, except he does get one cool moment near the end. You know, he blows up the Death Star, right? And again, to be honest, that's flawed, because that does it as well, where it's like they tell you that he's this really good pilot, but they don't show it.
Yeah. Like,
and he's like, I used to bullseye Womp-Rats, like, show it.
Yeah, right.
But I also understand that that's probably mostly due to budget constraints, because Star Wars was not a big budget movie.
Yeah, like, especially compared to Dune, where they've got infinite budget right here.
Exactly. Right? So, again, it's... But even in terms of just saying it, to be honest, like, this whole, like, he needs to get over, like, you know, you need to learn to kill, and then the old you will die, and all that. Maybe bring this up much earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Not, like, a minute before they have him kill the guy.
Especially when they have flash forward scenes, like, throughout the whole movie, and some of them are just him and Zendaya walking through the forest. Why don't you have, like, literally one of the future scenes could have been that fight at the end, where it is like when you kill part of you dies.
They try and do it with metaphorically, right? Because they have, like, Zendaya stab him, and then he's like, you know, but that's it.
I just assumed that was literal. Like,
no.
I assumed that that's the literal thing. Zendaya at some point in the future is going to stab him so that he can, like, I don't know, unleash his true potential.
I took it as a metaphor for, like, because a part of you dies when you die when you take a life.
Yeah.
And then it's that blade that she gave him.
But like, they didn't mention that at the time. I just figured that at certain points Zendaya was going to be like, you betrayed my people kind of a little, so I've got to stab you. But then, like, he gets to go on the combat field and then fight and look like he's really bored. I didn't get that. Also, just a random complaint. How did the Fremen lose? Because they go to, like, an area, and then all the bad guys show up, the Harkons show up, like, parachuting in, and then they're like, let's walk through really quietly. And the Fremens are like, haha, we're under the sand, and now we're going to kill you. So they all burst out, and I was like, oh, okay, so, like, they're just going to win, and they're going to be like, the Harkons almost found us, we need to leave. And it's like, no, the Harkons killed them all. What?
Yeah.
Like, what? Alright. Seems dumb.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah. That was just something that actually, I spoke to you about this in the cinema, but I just want to bitch about it anyway.
Okay.
So, this isn't, like, really that relevant. It doesn't detract from the film. It doesn't make it bad. This is just me being an asshole. Like, Dune's pretty cool. Like, the whole movie is all about, like, world building and everything else, and just being smart. They explain everything. And, you know, they're like, we've got sand crawlers, and as the sand crawler drives around, it draws the giant worms. So we've got drones that watch out for the worms, and so then we know we can call a pickup team to, like, pick up the sand crawler and fly away. Okay, fair enough. So they see a worm, which for some reason the drones didn't see, but, like, someone else sees. And they're like, all right, call for the pickup team. And they're like, oh, where's the pickup team? They're taking a long time. Oh, there they are. And then when they finally get there, they're like, okay, unleash all 6 arms to grab onto the thing. And then one of the arms just like, nah, the arm's broken. You're like, okay. You're like, we can't take off without that last 6th arm. It's like, wait. So, like, in the real world, if you go on an elevator and, you know, you're in there and, like, the cable can hold, like, 3 tons, right? That's the maximum capacity of the elevator cable. Maximum weight capacity of the elevator, there'll be, like, half a ton. So, like, already that one cable's never gonna break, right? Yeah. But then, what do? They're like, all right, now we just made the elevator with emergency 3 cables.
Yeah, and they have emergency
and
brakes.
then they have emergency brakes. That can, as soon as the cable snaps, they instantly go off. So you're like, it's impossible. They've built so many redundancies in. And then I'm like, in the world of Dune, where everything's got, like, you've explained everything, and then you're like, oh no, one of the cables didn't work. You're like, wait, one? You'd need, like, 4 not to work, right? Like, before you wouldn't be able to lift it. Come on, guy. Like, wait. It's a possibility in this desert world where everything breaks So, but you only send one guy to pick up? No, you would send 2 every time, just in case. This is really contrived. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make the movie bad. Like, you gotta have, like, your action beat somewhere, but for a movie that's like, we thought about a lot of stuff, and we're thinking about everything, and we're gonna explain to you why everything works and where everything... And then so, like, that happens, for me, like, me being me, like, a pedantic asshole, I'm like, this really just takes me out of the movie all of a sudden. This is just the movie section. Like, I would be surprised if... not gonna lie, I would be surprised if that is even in the book. Like... Yeah,
to be honest,
that feels like a movie edition.
It does
feel
like a movie edition.
We need to do something because he's just doing routine, like, pickups and, like, he's doing his mailman job. Like,
and they need some
some
sort of
action
tension.
scene.
Yeah. That does... Yeah, I will say that. That does look like that. Also, I think they really wanted to kind of introduce us to the sandworms relatively early. Or, I mean, it feels like... I mean, it's like an hour in, but...
Yeah, it is.
You know, you can't have anything happen in the first hour. That's crazy. What is this? The fucking Warriors? Right? Like, this is a serious movie. Nothing can happen within the first hour. It's just...
Right. Just learn what the world is.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Like I say, it's one of those really irritating things. But, and this is, look, I'm gonna probably catch some flack for this, but maybe Dune was never that good.
Hey man, like...
So here's the thing, right? It's got great world building, and therefore it's been a great launch pad for other people's creativity, and has kind of led to a bunch of really, really cool ideas had by other creatives, like, you know, like I say, like Star Wars, like Lex, like there's the whole world of sci-fi, Warhammer 40k, like ton of stuff. But you know what also did that? Fucking D&D.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it firing up other people's imaginations does not necessarily mean
that you are a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cool world. And I think, in a way, what could have potentially been more interesting was just to find other stories to tell in this world.
Yeah.
That lent themselves to a movie by not adapting anything directly, but just going, hey, here's this world, let's set some shit here.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that in a way could have been better. Because I would be very interested to see that, because there is a lot of really cool stuff. I like the political side of it. I like that it's kind of mirroring, like, sort of imperialism, like, you know, and that kind of that era of, like, early colonialism.
It's like a proper colonialist storyline.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. This kind of space colonialism. Yeah, we've kind of seen it with other stuff since then, like 40k and all these other things, but also not really that much in movies.
Yeah, like, one thing I was gonna say that because I was always like, you know what? We all hate the sand people, man, in Star Wars. Like, fucking guys rocking up going, like, yeah, we hate them. Like, fuck those guys. But then when you actually think about it, they're the native species to Tatooine.
Yeah.
And so it's like, actually, Luke and everyone else are, like, fucking colonizers who've just shown up on their planet, and they're just farming moisture from, like, the sand people. And they're like, fuck off, this is our land. So maybe they capture some of the invaders and enslave them. Like, I ain't saying it's a good thing, but, you know, these people are fighting clearly with inferior technology and are, like, way behind, like, all the rest of the galactic people. So it's like, okay, maybe there should be a Star Wars series about sand people, which sounds awful because the whole movie would just be like all the time. Like, I'm like, where's my sand person Jedi? Like, who's like, I have to liberate the sand people on Tatooine. Like, everyone else is a dickhead. Like, fuck you, Anakin. Your mum deserved to die.
What's the actual name for Sand People? They have a name. I can't remember what it is.
Tuscan Raiders.
Tuscan Raiders.
Yeah, I enjoy calling
They only say it once though in like the entire, because they call them Sand People in episode 2 as well. Like they call episode 1 has so much shit that they do once and then never do again.
I think they're called Tuscan Raiders in episode 4 even.
I don't think they ever say it. Do they?
Don't they?
I think they say Sand People. Because it's like Sand People are easily startled and they'll be back and in greater numbers.
Like, I just... Well, maybe it's me just being terrible. It just makes me laugh. I'm like, man, this is such a big oof though. Like, you really want to go with that name? Like, George? Like, yes, Sand People. Like, you motherfucker. Like, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? Why? Yeah. But now that you got onto like the colonialism, imperialism thing, I was going to say this is one thing that I am interested in for the series going forward, which is, so like, how is Paul going to go ahead as a character? Is he going to become, you know, the last samurai, like, I am the white man who has now mastered your ways and become better at it than you, native people? Or is it gonna be like this Orcs Daenerys Targaryen, where like, yes, all of the Sand People now like are working with me, and now I rule over them? Or
see, this is the interesting thing to me, because I'm not 100%. See, because the Lynch movie, which obviously we're gonna watch, the Lynch movie totally goes the Last Samurai route, but I know that that's not accurate to the book.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure quite how it goes. All I know is that, yeah, it doesn't go that full on, like, I am your savior.
Yeah.
It does, like, that's actually something that the film got criticised for by fans of the book. I know that's a major criticism of the Lynch movie.
Because I was going to say, when watching the movie, I found myself going, oh, okay, is the way he's fighting, he's just a guy amongst all of the others, so I don't feel that he's necessarily being like, quote unquote, the last samurai or the Daenerys Targaryen, I'm your leader. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know, like, execution, that's just one scene. Like, maybe it's not even real, like, because he saw his own face and he stopped and paused to look at the camera for a bit. So yeah, maybe that's not a literal scene, maybe it is, we don't know. But yeah, it seems like they might be trying to swerve maybe doing that, but at the same time, like, good fucking falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
We all played Resident Evil 5, like, oh no, it's not that racist. They're all like just fighting like people in Africa. Like, there's some white people. There's white people in Africa. Like, oh shit, it's like fucking jungle people with spears. How did you do this, Resi 5? How? Oh god. Yeah.
Japan. Oh, Japan.
Yeah.
By the way, that is actually one interesting thing, though, is that none of the Fremen are white, which I know is I know that's book accurate. Because again, I know that's a criticism of the Lynch movie, is that in the Lynch movie all the Fremen are white, and in the book they're explicitly not. They're described as dark-skinned, which makes sense. They live in a desert world. Like,
cool. I kind of noticed that, and I noticed that the Harkons, I was like, they're like a brutal imperialist group, and they're like unnaturally white.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel this is probably leaning on some stuff. Like, it got like a colonial force that's really white, and like a group that's, well, it's mixed between like Africans and Middle Eastern actors. Yeah. The only thing that I was like, cringe, giga cringe, mega giga cringe, because the most Fremen who we pay attention to or see as being like characters, they're like Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And then there's like, hey, I'm a black Fremen. You see some black Fremen in the background. But who's the main black Fremen who like gets the most screen time? The random black Fremen who's like, I don't trust this guy for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm the best fighter ever and we should fight. And I was like, oh yeah, because he's a big black fella. That's the only way that Paul can prove himself. This scrawny young white guy, he's got to prove himself by defeating a big black fella.
If this movie was made, if this movie was made in the 2000s, that guy would have been played by Ving Rhames. It's like every Ving Rhames character.
Yeah, oh man.
I like Ving Rhames, but he got typecast a lot in the 2000s.
There's promise in the series, but...
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I really like this world.
Hell,
and if nothing else, this film did sell me on that. It really sold me. Like, just looking at it all, and I'm not just talking about the spectacle. In general, there is something really interesting. The production design doesn't really look like anything else. It's very unique, and which is kind of crazy because it's very true to other versions of Dune that I've seen, like other art, and I watched. I saw some of the TV show. I didn't watch all of it. I saw like the the Lynch movie. I've seen the Jodorowsky concept art, and it doesn't look too different to that. And it's crazy considering how much of other stuff it influenced, that it still feels really unique. Even though the sandcrawlers, when you look at them, it's like, yeah, they're pretty damn similar to the ones in Star Wars. And I think what makes them feel unique is just how unnaturally huge they are.
Yeah.
And again, this film sells scale really well, so it does feel odd. It feels like kind of unnatural in a way, you know what I mean? It's like, especially contrasted against these big empty deserts, and there's these big like sandcrawlers the size of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And it's like there's something to that. There's something I really like, and like I say, and all the politics, the sets on the Harkonnen ships, where when you see.
I think all the sets are really good, actually.
Like Baron Harkonnen, near the end, he's like bathing in just what looks like oil or tar or something.
Yeah.
And also Baron Harkonnen looks fucking great. Like, his what's his name?
It's fucking Snoke.
Yeah, but yeah, what's the name of the actor?
I don't know.
It's whatever Skarsgård. From
I don't remember.
From the Thor movies. The scientist dude. You really don't remember the Thor movies, huh? He's in the Avengers as well. He's the guy who sets up the Loki's big space laser thing. And the mind control.
Who did that?
Yeah. He's the other guy whose mind he controls, him and Hawkeye.
Oh, Natalie Portman's dad.
Yeah. Well.
Oh. Yeah.
Is he? I don't think he's that dad, but yeah. That character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean like literally.
Oh, right.
Life, but yeah.
No. I mean, I don't think he's actually supposed to be a dad. He's just.
Oh, well, like just an old mental figure.
Yeah.
All right.
But that guy. Yeah.
See, the thing that mainly for me is this movie puts me in two minds, because I am like, Jesus Christ, let something happen, please.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that happens is I'm like, oh my God, this isn't a Marvel movie. Oh my God. Like, hey, this is so interesting to watch a movie and like just be in like the world and watching stuff, and oh yeah, this is like a completely different experience. Like, movies can have like different like tones and sayings and feelings. Oh, this is good, man. Like, wow. So part of me is like, this isn't a good movie, but it is a movie that I like.
This is the thing. I know I'm like, this movie sucks and stuff. And yeah, to be honest, it kind of does, and it's paced horribly. And I know for a fact, if I'd have watched this on my own, on streaming, what I'd have done was constantly double tapping to just skip a few seconds ahead, because it's like, bored. Because I know my own impulse was kind of, I always felt myself doing it in a cinema, right? Just double tap on the screen. Just skip 5 seconds ahead. Come on, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
But I really did get absorbed into that world. Whenever it was showing me new stuff, whenever it was kind of showing me, not just the production design, not just the locations, but hearing about all the different factions, the families, and also the fact that it's this colonialism thing. So it's all dukes and barons, and which is also really interesting. That we're in this futuristic setting, but we're the language used is really old-fashioned.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing because I find myself going, I know that the Dune movies never got finished. Did the Dune books get finished? Or are they just like,
Yeah,
George R. R. Martin in that?
No. I think they were. The whole series was sort of was completed.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the author. I keep thinking Robert fucking Heinlein, and that's the guy who wrote Starship Troopers. But for whatever fucking reason, he's the one who's that's the name in my head right now, which is very annoying. I'm sure, don't bother writing it in the comments or anything, because I will know by then. It's
What?
I'm
No.
just being an idiot.
You dummy. Tell everyone to write in the comments.
Write in the comments. We need engagement.
Yeah.
Peter, comment more. You need to comment more.
Yeah, we need more comments, likes, subscribes,
Yeah.
shares. Yeah, make sure you share it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll keep sharing. Keep sharing and tagging everyone in it. I didn't understand your dirtbag left comment, by the way. I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I was say we're not dirtbag left.
I mean, I think I probably am, but I don't really know why we didn't even get political in the Alien 4 review. There's been a few times we haven't gotten at all political. I didn't really. Yeah, what was with that, dude? Chances are I'll have asked you that before this episode's up. But
write in the comments because we
Write
still
in the
need that
engagement. Just start having conversations with people we know in real life via YouTube comments. Whoa. It just went very dark.
Yeah.
We're in a car park of a cinema that wasn't the cinema we watched it.
Yeah, we just do the recording in the car. So if the audio is different, you know why.
Yeah.
But part of me's like, I bet it's actually going to sound better.
Maybe.
I even I do like some.
I feel like there's less ambient sound in it.
Yeah. It doesn't sound as reverby as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking is it worth trying to do voice recording in the car? Maybe it is.
If you're doing it for a professional thing, though, I would turn the engine off.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
How's your petrol doing, by the way?
Oh, plenty good.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Anything else to discuss? I say that because I'm a bit worried they're closing this car park down or something.
I don't think they can. There's no way to lock it.
I guess.
Yeah. No, not really.
Yeah, this movie sucks, but I am actually very interested in continuing the series.
Yeah.
I will keep watching these, even if the next one sucks, because I'm very interested in this world and seeing how it develops. This movie made me weirdly kind of excited about the potential for more interesting sci-fi movies. And more difficult sci-fi movies getting released. This might provide the potential that everyone thought Arrival was going to bring, but Arrival was never going to bring because that movie was too small. This is a big blockbuster movie, so it's a bit different. And I think a movie of this scale...
You know what this movie kind of reminds me of, actually? Oh my god, I didn't even realise how much this movie reminds me of it. Oblivion with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
That movie fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But you got the little fly ships. You've got a barren world. You've got a bunch of people who live in an underground enclave out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a rebellion thing. Yeah, okay.
Who made that movie? That was some
fucking terrible movie.
That was made by a real director though. That wasn't some bullshit movie. It felt like some bullshit.
Yeah,
movie,
I was gonna say
that
it
was
was
actually
a
made by
bullshit movie.
but it was made by an actual real director.
Who cast Tom Cruise in a fucking sci-fi setting? One, that doesn't look right already.
Yeah.
It just looks It just looks like he's out of place.
Especially in a post-apocalypse. He's too pretty. He's too clean.
Yeah, it's like, why have we got this real clean guy? Daisy.
A movie like that needs like a Kurt Russell.
Like,
you need someone who's kind of sort of
someone who can look like an everyman.
Yeah. Yeah, or a back in the day Bruce Willis, like someone like that.
With the Bruce Willis, like back in the day, like I'm totally thinking just take him from Fifth Element, where he's wearing the tank top, and like I could totally see that making just replacing some of the scenes in my head with that. It's way better already.
Yeah. But anyway, this reminded you of.
It reminded me of Oblivion, and kind of had me thinking, like, sci-fi can be interesting, right? Like, when they do stuff, like, relating to, like, real-world politics. I think sci-fi makes really good places to do that. Like,
absolutely.
And then a lot of modern sci-fi kind of isn't really saying anything. It's just like a space world. That's why I also thought of Oblivion, because it's like, it's not really saying anything.
Yeah.
It's just some guys doing some stuff. And that is why I was like, it would be really nice to see what people get into after, like, more Dune resurgence.
I hope this inspires a new wave of more challenging sci-fi. So, because real sci-fi has been kind of dead in the mainstream for a long time.
Yeah, it has.
It's been replaced by effectively just action movies. And this isn't that. So it would be interesting.
Yeah.
So hopefully, much like the books, this starts to inspire more creativity.
Yeah.
And a kind of a sort of new renaissance for sci-fi movies that we've kind of been desperately needing for a long time.
Yeah.
So, despite how kind of down on this movie I was, I think some massive positives can come out of it.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
And I hope so. With that, I think we'll call it. Next time, I think probably next time we'll probably watch the David Lynch Dune.
Yeah.
We'll go doing it that way. Which I fucking love.
And I've never seen.
I don't know what you'd think of it. It's just fucking weird, but I kind of love it for that. It's goofy and strange, and manages to tell a much larger story in a much shorter time frame. I was looking at some of the key moments, like the little robot drone thing that attacks him, and like in the David Lynch movie, it's like, man, I think that's like half an hour into that movie. Anyway, until next time, Ian Beale.